You don't often get to travel to a place for 2 weeks after having spent an entire semester learning about its history and its culture.
Growing up in America, I was never able to go to Cuba. So I realized, I was like, oh snap, I can go to Cuba now, I can study there, I can actually learn about Cuba.
You learn a little bit of everything from, politics or a political overview, a historical overview about how the culture of Cuba functions, or how culture especially intertwines with politics, with the revolution.
There were some readings we had to do. What I slowly began to realize is that this all really exists. And they're happening right now in Cuba. And to have the opportunity to go and visit and have a glimpse of this was phenomenal.
Most nights we would have a lecture, an introduction to the film, and then a film, and then which would be followed by discussion.
You get to see parts of Cuba, and obviously you get to see it through the eyes of those directors. And then you get to see it for yourself in person.
I think a lot of the times we never get to see things on the ground, we never get to experience anything we're actually studying.
The learning in the classroom, and then moving to experiential learning in Cuba and learning from Cuban professors. I think the academic experience is taken to another level rather.
My perception of the country changed the second I touched down. The guides that we were taken with and the professors that we learned from changed how I view Cuba.
It's like a transformative cultural space, and the nice part about it is that you just feel the energy when you get there, because we got there and it was just wow, and you're all just wow, we're finally here. And I felt okay, the chorus, everything, the coursework, late night classes, everything was worth having this experience.
We were given the experience of a local and not of a foreigner. We were able to visit the university national sites and share meals with local citizens, teachers, musicians.
So many people were so excited that, we were from abroad and we wanted to learn, and we wanted to hang out with them, and we wanted to just kind of engage and share cultures together.
The very first night we got there, they introduced us to a bunch of locals. They had made connections with people at the University of Havana, and they introduced us. And me and a few friends, there was three or four of us, and we ended up making friends with this guy named Pablo. And every single day, Pablo would come after work and meet us.
We were taken to different restaurants, we were taken around Havana. Not only did it feel like a classroom, it also felt like I was making these memories with these extraordinary people whose paths I don't think I ever would have come across had I not taken a course like this.
During the trip, there is a lot of free time and flexibility to explore all our own interests. Mine were organic agriculture, racism, and tourism. What was so fascinating was that everyone had their own interests, but the course was broad yet structured enough to accommodate all our curiosities.
What the trip exposed me to was meeting people who were artists and who had really no fear in putting a stake in the ground and saying, I'm pursuing a career as an artist.
Cuban arts, Cuban music have impressed me most. In these 2 weeks, I have seen more contemporary arts, contemporary visual arts than I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's music, it's food, it's drinks, it's culture, and everyone, especially young people, are enjoying it, are truly enjoying it and living in it.
For me, the trip to Cuba is really like a time travel to China in the 60s or 50s that I heard from older generations like my parents or grandparents. And it really helped me to understand the country that I was born and I live in.
You not only get to experience, the in-class introduction, but you get to go down, participate in the culture, learn from different types of professors, people with different types of careers.
Going to Cuba was such a relief for me because I was in an environment where I could academically thrive but also socially thrive, because I saw people that looked like me everywhere. And yes, Cubans and Trinidadians are very different, but at the same time there's a common Caribbean culture. Especially I was able to make a lot of Cuban friends when I was there, and they were able to relate because our musics have very similar sounds to them. Our food have very similar tastes to them. As many other Queen's students experience a culture shock, I felt culturally immersed and so proud to be there.
For me, personally, changed the entire course of my life. It really opened up an opportunity for me to go back, do my MA in that field, in that research area.
It's made me more of an advocate for human rights. I think that, universal health care and education should be all in control of the government. I think that's something that I really feel strongly about.
Knowing I could complete a course like this, and not just complete it, but thrive throughout it and learn so much, I gained a confidence. I gained a sense of confidence in myself, and I felt empowered. I felt knowing that I could go to a new culture that I didn't know and I didn't understand necessarily. To be able to go there and make friends and make connections with people that have stood the course of time.
These were all new topics for me, and I think having the intercultural competence to be able to go into a setting and be open and willing to learn, and to invite people into the conversation and be a part of that was really, really important to me. I learned that skill and I was able to take it with me as I traveled and worked in other countries and studied in other countries. I was able to go in with an open mind.
It'll make you feel a closeness to a country that to begin with you have nothing to do with. I'm really, really grateful that I was able to go on that trip, and I hope they continue doing it for many years, because it's definitely one of my favorite experiences that I had from my time at Queen's.